With regards to security laws, although we are in support of good security laws, but we are never in favor of detention without trial laws, including in Malaysian case, Prevention of Crime Act, POCA, Prevention of Terrorist Act, POTA, as well as SOSMA, Security Offences Special Measures Act. Although we welcome the recent development at Parliament whereby the MPs have voted out the sunset clause of 28 days of remand under the SOSMA procedure, but we also totally against SOSMA procedures, as this only an additional procedure which allow the authorities use the blanket 28 days of remand and subsequently either charge the suspect under the penal code of CPC or release them. But SOSMA procedure also deny the bail process, and suspect may end up in prison or detention until the conclusion of their cases, regardless they found guilty or otherwise. So these detention without trial law need to go and possible replaced by better security provisions which uphold rule of law as well as with judiciary oversight. People's Agenda also believes strongly in freedom of expression as a key component for a critical and better government. But what we are witnessing now is that the unwanted and unnecessary use of Sedition Act as well as Section 233 Communication and Multimedia Act, which used by authorities not only to silence the dissenters but also to intimidate the voices of people. Fahmi Reza's recent case is a classic example, not only how the government using its resource to try to stop his political satirical graphics, but it have also exposed how the government is being so hypocrisy in practice and practicing double standard to blacklist his passport compared to convicted former PM Najib allowed to leave the country. The government's continuous clampdown on civil society activists and critical voices undermine the pledge it made to promote and protect human rights. So we are hoping this will be the main agenda of any political party in terms of election manifesto to uphold the freedom of expression. For this year alone, we already see a passing of 20 more cases under the CMA and sedition. This is just April. So both Sedition Act as well as Section 233 CMA need to be abolished. So that would be agenda and also possible election manifestos, right? And despite the new membership of the Human Rights Council, the Malaysian government in the United Nations Human Rights Council continued to fall short on its human rights commitment, especially on the international ratification of international covenants, especially the most crucial one, including ICCPR, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, International Covenant on Economic, Social, Cultural Rights, United Nations Convention Against Torture, ICERT, also ratification on refugees, enforced disappearance, which we have seen SUARAM directly and indirectly have, after their investigation shows the involvement of authorities in involuntary disappearance or enforced disappearance. So as a conclusion, People's Agenda called for all parties to ensure that all legislation protect human rights, due process and basic freedom, and urgent reform on the key institution of government to ensure check and balances.